Good evening, guys. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be. Today I'll be starting the AngularJS tutorial. I'm gonna be giving an intro today, so I'll just get to it right away. Okay, so who should use this resource, this video tutorial? Anybody who wants to start AngularJS either as an additional tool or as their major project. AngularJS is so easy and also well equipped that you can use it as a side tool or you can use it as your major framework for whatever it is you're doing, for whatever website or app you'll be creating. Whether you're just hearing Angular for the first time or you've got a pretty good grasp on it, you can always learn something new from some of my lecturer. Always says nobody is an island of knowledge. So whether you're a professional or you're just a noob, or this is the first time you're hearing AngularJS and you want to try it out, this video can also help. If you're looking to refresh your memory on some topics or concepts in Angular, this is a good resource. If you're a pro in Angular or you've worked with it some time back and you just need a refresher, on some concept ideas, or you're just looking for something in particular, you can also try this video out. It's great. Alright. So what are the requirements you need to code in Angular? AngularJS, as we know, is purely JavaScript and it works with HTML, CSS in a web browser. So we know that if you've been writing, HTML codes before, we know the basic things we need here. And first of all, you need to have the willingness to learn and ready to be hands-on. Most programming languages, as a matter of fact, all programming languages requires you to be hands-on. You read or you watch the video and you type the code into your code editor and you compile or you play them, you run them, to see your code, and you debug also to find bugs and fix your app. You should also be very comfortable with JavaScript. AngularJS is purely JavaScript. AngularJS is a framework that is built on JavaScript. So it's really important that you have a good understanding on JavaScript. Not really, you don't have to be a pro, but at least you should have done some little things with JavaScript. You should know the major things involved using JavaScript. Any text editor you're comfortable with, I use Notepad with. Yep. This, if you've been writing codes, HTML, CSS, you do all this is not just HTML and CSS, any programming language, Java, PHP, Ruby, you need a code editor to type in your codes, which will let it compile. AngularJS is no different. You need a code editor, and there are various ones on the internet you can use. I prefer using the Notepad++. When I started learning programming, I was learning with Notepad. Can you imagine how tedious it is to code with Notepad with no help at all from the editor? Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. Just had to take a quick call. Now, where was I? Okay, text editors. So we have different types of text editors. We have Notepad++. We have a friend of mine then liked to use in Sublime. Yeah, I wonder why she liked it, but Sublime just had too much beauty, and now I like my things simple. So you can make your choice, use whichever one you're comfortable with, and I'm sure AngularJS. It's always advisable never to use WordPad, because WordPad adds some kind of formatting that might bring or cause a bug in your code when you run it or compile it. It's just safe not to use WordPad. Use other code editors, do not use WordPad. And then as well that other programming languages, after writing your codes, you have to run them, you have to compile them. Well, with AngularJS is JavaScript, so our browser is the compiler here. Sorry again. Just hold on. Sorry, had to take that. So Yeah, and to run your Angular code, you need your browser. We have different types of browsers. We have Google Chrome, we have Epic browsers, we have Internet Explorers, we have Edge, we have UC browsers, whichever is comfortable for you. But we're going to be using the Google developers. Okay, I'll just show you that. We are going to be using this. We're going to be using. Sorry, yes. Wait for this to boot up. I wonder if this thing is getting slow. I guess I'm adding lots of things on the memory. So, come on. So we're going to be using this developers toolkit for, we can use this to whatever we do, say we're on Facebook or whatever. We're just going to be using this, to work with our AngularJS for debugging purposes, and some things we want to print out on the console or track sources. I'm sure some of you will know this. Well, we're going to be using it down. I've got a problem with my Facebook account. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's get back to it. And then after the browser, you need your brain. Most definitely. What can we do these days without our brain? Absolutely nothing. Okay, so introduction to AngularJS. Well, today this video is pretty much about just a quick intro into AngularJS, what we're going to be working about, what AngularJS is all about. Probably not all about, but major things that AngularJS is about. Now we're going to be talking about what AngularJS is, what is MVC, and what does it have to do with Angular? What backend does Angular support? AngularJS believes, and do you need your app to be entirely AngularJS? We're going to find out here in this tutorial. So stay with me as we continue. I'm not going to be taking much of your time, but I'm going to be hitting on the major points here of those things that I've listed out right now. So what is AngularJS? We've been hearing AngularJS, we've been talking about AngularJS the whole time. So what is AngularJS? So simply here, if you go on the internet, there are lots of definitions for AngularJS. We have AngularJS. But I'm going to be keeping it simple here. I'm going to be keeping it simple. However simple, I'm still going to try to bring out the major points of whatever it is we're going to be talking about. So bear with me as I try to simplify all definitions or explanations I'm going to be giving. So AngularJS is a JavaScript MVC framework that does all the heavy lifting for us in our JavaScript and allows us to focus more on our business logic. Now, what does this mean? Lots of JavaScript, I'm not condemning any JavaScript framework here, but lots of JavaScript framework that is not AngularJS requires us to do a lot of heavy lifting I'm pointing to. Like for example, take jQuery for example. If you were going to update something in the view, you'll have to tell jQuery which particular elements you want to update, and then you have to give it the code for that. Well, I'm going to explain this in later videos, in later tutorials, in later topics, but let me try to keep it simple here. AngularJS is an MVC framework that helps to do most of the work we're supposed to do for us. Then it abstracts most of the things we are supposed to do and allows us to focus more on our business logic. Simple English, we use lesser codes when we are writing our JavaScript codes in AngularJS compared to other frameworks. Well, I hope you're getting it. If you're not, please just leave a comment and I'll make adjustments where I need to. Okay, so in our previous definition here, we said AngularJS is a JavaScript MVC framework. So the word MVC might be confusing to some people, so I'm going to try to, just make a quick talk on that too. So MVC is a programming concept that sees to a proper division of labor in programming. If you go online, I'm sure you're going to see different definitions, but as I said, I am trying to keep things as simple as possible here. So the word MVC, it's a programming design, that allows us to to divide our codes